Tonight's presentation is being filmed by members of the Anderson television station. This will appear on their channel 18 at some point in the near future for you all to enjoy at your home and watch it again and again at 3 a.m. in the morning if you're so inclined. It'll also end up, I believe, go up on YouTube. Is that correct? Yes, he's telling me it'll end up on YouTube. So not only will people be able to see this locally, but people will be able to see it worldwide. So comb your hair. Comb your hair. Oh, yeah, Jeff Sholey back there, he's fixing his. To begin with, I need to acknowledge the gift that I was given that you're going to witness tonight. It came from a collector by the name of John S. Jones. Some of you may remember Jones Hi-Fi in Anderson in the 50s and 60s. That's the man. And he was a collector of sorts of any type of old film footage of Anderson. And he had numerous reels of film footage of Anderson. He selected out certain ones of better quality to make a DVD of. And about 15 or so years ago, his son, Michael Jones, came into the Madison County Historical Society one day and wanted to make a gift to us of these films that had been placed on DVD. We thanked him, of course. He was very adamant about the fact that I was never ever allowed to let anyone copy them because they are family possession, and so I've honored that all these years. I did get permission from him about a week ago for tonight's performance. I told him, I said, Anderson TV wants to come and film this, and if that's okay with you, we'll let them do that. If not, then we'll say no. And he didn't hesitate. He said, you know, it's time. It's time that the public enjoy these. So he says, that's okay with me. So with his permission and acknowledgement, I'm out of appreciation, deep appreciation for the Jones family and Michael Jones's decision to let us show them. Two things that I want, or more than two, a couple things I want to tell you about. This film is 42 minutes in length. 2/3 of it is silent, and I have to narrate. The last third or so is sound, and I've got speakers set up here for you, and I think I can project out over the whole room and you'll be able to hear it. Two things in the silent era that I need to explain to you. In my narration, I will tell you to interpret for you what you're seeing to kind of add to your enjoyment of it. But there are a couple of sections in here that need further explanation that I don't want to detract from what you're seeing, so I'll just tell you ahead of time. The first one is a 1915 film shot in Anderson. It was made by a company in Akron, Ohio. I think the name was McHenry Company, and during that time period they were going around to various cities, as far as I can determine, and hiring local people to be performers in their film. And there was a cast, a script that they followed, and it's hokey as all get out. You're going to have a lot of laughs with it, but this was serious filmmaking in 1915. When it was done, they played it at the Starland Theater in downtown Anderson, and people paid admission to see it. I will just narrate a little bit of it. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's called The Man-Haters, and it's a women's group, believe it or not. That's all I'll say about it. The second thing I want to elaborate a little bit more. About a third of the way into the silent film era, it'll come up on the screen. It will say 1918 Armistice Day Parade. In 1918, the Friday of the weekend before Armistice, word had been received throughout the world that discussions were underway in Europe about an armistice between the warring countries, the Allies, and the Germany. And so the country and the world waited with bated breath that weekend of November 9th and 10th, Friday and a Saturday, waiting for word from Europe that the war to end all wars was over. That word was received in Anderson at 2 a.m. on Monday morning, November the 11th, 1918. And immediately the performers from the Crystal Theater, which was located in downtown Anderson, it was a vaudevillian theater. They began to, they were staying at the Doxy Hotel. They went out on the balcony of the Doxy Hotel and sang the Star-Spangled Banner. This was about 2:30 in the morning after word had been received. They drew a crowd. I can't imagine at 2:30 who'd be downtown, but they were there. So much so that they encouraged them to come down off of the fire escape and go over to the corner of 10th and Meridian Street, which is the corner that was later occupied by the Anderson Bank. And there they performed more songs. That was drawing a crowd. Factory whistles began to blow, going on 3 a.m. all over the city. And people were awakened by those factory whistles. In 1918, you couldn't turn the radio on to WHBU because WHBU didn't exist in 1918. You couldn't turn the television on because there was no TV. The only way you found out your news was to go downtown. And so they did. And they began to arrive in downtown Anderson at 3 o'clock that morning after being awakened by all of the jubilation that was going on. They had a good idea what it was all about, but they came down to hear the real word on it. And a parade spontaneously began to happen. It was not pre-planned, no planning whatsoever. It just broke out in spontaneous parade. People began to join it from all over the city. They brought noisemakers. Many of them had nothing more than 2 garbage can lids, and so they marched down the street doing this. They hung bells on their cars if they had a car. They hung bells on the horses, hung bells on the tractors, whatever. And they began to pour into downtown Anderson, and that parade officially got going at 3 a.m. They marched north on Meridian Street to about 8th Street, east on 8th to Main, down Main to around 12th, 11th or 12th Street, and then back to Meridian. So in that circle or in that square, they marched continuously. As they got tired, they would drop out and others would fall in. That parade lasted from 3 a.m. to 9 p.m. 18 hours nonstop. So much was the joy of the nation over the signing of the armistice. 4 minutes and 32 seconds of that parade is captured on this film. I needed to set that for you so you could enjoy what you're seeing. The cameraman is positioned on the southwest corner of the old courthouse square. At that time, there was a Civil War Seacoast cannon mounted there. He got up on the mounting of the Seacoast cannon, so he's above the crowd, and he's shooting as the parade is coming north on Meridian Street. Directly opposite of where he's standing is where downtown Frisch's used to be located. So I'm kind of setting the scene for you. And, well, the rest of it, you just sit back and enjoy, and I'll try to narrate it for you. Any questions on that? Okay. Let's hope all my planning worked out. The film quality in some places is pretty good, other places it's not. Anderson was a very diversified city with a population of approximately 30,000 and a Chamber of Commerce membership of over 1,000. So you can see Anderson was growing. There were over 108 businesses located in Anderson, including 3 automobile manufacturers. The DeTamble Motors Company, the Lambert was built by the Buckeye Manufacturing Company, and the third one was Madison Motors Company. From 1901 to 1918, 10 different cars were manufactured in Anderson. Actually, there were more than that. I've researched and I've come up with 31. One of the early electric cars in Anderson, this is 1915, and we had an electric car. And we think this is Mrs. Toner, who was publisher of the Herald Bulletin, and her electric car. Looking over the rooftop of a local automobile manufacturing plant, watch closely and you will see the high ramp. Boy, you have to watch closely. Used to test the cars for hill climb and braking tests. This was the Buckeye Manufacturing Testing Facility at 19th and Columbus Avenue. They're looking over the roof of the building, and again, the quality of the film is not all that great in this particular part of the film. The test track will come in here at the top, and it's just the lighting is not good, you can't see it. This building, many of you may remember, was a huge warehouse on Columbus Avenue after Buckeye left. It's across the street from Stanton Park. And you'll notice the railroad. That railroad is still in use today. This is CSX. Out for a Sunday drive, they would take their cars out to test them. And here comes your first laugh. There's going to be a chicken appear in this film. You can see him across the road. Now he'll come down in here. Here he comes. And then he gets back just in time. Don't know where that was taken. Fording the stream near Anderson, part of the testing of their Buckeye cars, Lambert's, was to drive them through water to test the what they called a frictionless transmission. So this was on purpose. I have no idea where this is without any certainty. I don't want to guess. Now, I believe this is 18th Street as you come down to the old Pittsford ditch, making your way out to Scatterfield Road before it was ever bridged. Because the plant was just beyond the horizon there, and they would bring their cars over and drive them through the Pittsford ditch. And this, I believe, is very near Irondale. This is the Pittsford ditch, then dumping into White River. The river is very shallow in that area, and it's the only place along the river where the banks are low enough where cars could come in and out. Ladies leaving the theater where The Great Divide was playing, this would be the Starland Theater. Starland Theater would be where Laura Sandlin's insurance agency is today on Meridian Street, across from the Paramount Theater. Look at the hats on the ladies coming out. See the streetcar rails in Meridian Street. A new soft drink was being introduced to Anderson, and the following was one of the first hand-colored ads made for the theater. This is 1915. Disney does not introduce color until early 1930s. So this is 15 years ahead of Disney and color. What is the depicting? Again, it's an ad. You see the camels coming across the desert. This is a theater ad now. Camel comes up to this pool of water, gets a drink, and he drinks all of it. The guy says, "Hey, what about me?" Then he remembers, "Oh, in my backpack, I've got a bottle of Zem-Zem." And here's the coloration. This is 1915. Zem-Zem was bottled here in Anderson at the Home Bottling Works, which was located on Brown Street, just south of what today is Martin Luther King. Here we go with the play. During the year, the Starland Theater was preparing to make a comedy using local talent to be produced by the McHenry Company of Akron, Ohio. Here are the results. Incidentally, I have their film they made in Muncie. Anderson's is much funnier. To be expected. Local people. Winner of the contest was Miss Lillian Cook as Ruth, and that's Miss Lillian Cook, and that's our hero. This is incidentally the house directly across the street from Trinity Episcopal Church in Anderson on Brown, Delaware. They're now downtown and they're looking at a storefront, the ladies are, discussing whatever. More ladies join them. Don't forget the meeting of the club next Saturday. Coming out of the old post office, the men have been ignored. The ladies are back together talking. The men come over and try to interrupt, ladies having nothing to do with them. Going back into the old post office, coming out with her mail. She meets more of her lady friends. We'll initiate the new members Saturday. There's those planners in that house across the street from Trinity Episcopal Church, still there today. You drive by them tonight if you want to. This is the house they use. Say, sis, do you know that girl? Yes, she's the president of the Anti-Men's Club. Sis, I want you to introduce me to the little president, but she hates men. This is the corner of 11th and Brown, Delaware. You recognize the old Mart house here. Jim Abrams fixed that up. She's the boss of the Man-Haters. It's now Wednesday. The ladies are gathered for a tea in the yard of that same house. Keep your eye on this one and this one. She sees these two people, these two men. She wants to get their attention, but she doesn't want to be too obvious about it. She writes a note for her brother Turns around and makes sure nobody saw that. How they didn't see it, I don't know. But it's what makes the film fun. He brings the note. The note says, "Come to Marshall's quick, Alice." Now remember, he's wanting to meet the little president of the club. So he comes over. His sister stands up, greets him. Now what's the reception he gets when she introduces him? See how they begin to turn their backs on him? They're not having much to do with him. In today's lingo, he's not even getting to first base, is he? He's pleading his case that he's infatuated with her and wants to get to know her, and she's not having any of that. Slowly but surely, the other women get up and leave out of disgust. He's still pitching his case. His sister moves. Now the heroine leaves. That leaves the brother and sister. He asks her to come over, and he says, "I told you they hated men." She gives him a big slap. Now, unlike all old-time movies, he's got to have a cigarette. Check out the haircut, guys. He's frustrated. What am I going to do? It's the next day. She's sitting somewhere, we don't know where, and she's giving thought to what he said. And she's starting to weaken. Here he comes up 11th Street and comes up the steps to her house. She first of all ignores him. He's pleading his case. He's in love with her. He wants to marry her. She's not having any of it. And then she turns and she listens, and he gets her attention. She's thinking about it. And all of a sudden, she's in agreement. And here's the plan. Saturday. Guess what? President of the anti-men's club is going to elope. There he is in his Lambert automobile. And away they go. This scene, I believe, is in Maplewood Cemetery. These are tombstones back here. Now, one of the women in the club just happens to be walking through the cemetery and sees them. This is the hokiest part of the whole film. Meanwhile, the club is meeting. They're waiting for the president to show up. Little do they know that she's with her newfound boyfriend. We go back to the cemetery. Now, they don't know she's there. "Oh my," she says, "look what's going on." And away she goes in that long skirt. And she runs up to the women's group and she says, "We got to go save her. We got to go save her." And here comes the cavalry. Here they come up 11th Street and the cavalry's running behind them. Now they're going west on 9th Street. First Presbyterian Church will come into view over here in just a short bit. "Henry, where are we going?" "To get married," he says. Again, they're going west on 9th Street. It has to be in the fall of the year because they're going to pass a man burning some leaves here shortly. They're making distance, getting away from the ladies who are still running down 9th Street. There's Presbyterian Church. There's a man burning his leaves. And the next scene is they're pulling up downtown. They're getting out and they go over to the courthouse and they got a judge. This is the fastest marriage ceremony I've ever seen. A few words. And they're married. That's it. He congratulates them. And here comes the cavalry. Around the old courthouse. They're there to save him, but she informs them they're married. And here they are on Brown, Delaware. The Delaware apartments are not there yet. And they're walking up to her house. And again, that house is there today. And a few days later, they're sitting out on the swing, a brand new married couple. And she says, "Yes, I still hate men, all except one." And that's the man-haters. Year 1918, Anderson's first Armistice Day parade. This is about 4 minutes, 32 seconds, if I remember right. Again, I've set it up for you. The cameraman, again, is taken from the 9th and Meridian Streets. He's on the gun mount that was there on the southwest corner of the old courthouse square. And passing before him is this spontaneous parade. See the Red Cross workers across the way there? People just showed up, no school, all the factories closed, nobody went to school, nobody went to work. They all came downtown to join in this once-in-a-lifetime parade in downtown Anderson. Anderson wasn't the only place that was conducting these parades. They were going all over the free world. As far as attendance goes, this beats VE Day, and VJ Day parades in Anderson in 1945. Motorcycles, bands from every community. Every community had a band. Del Carimi had a band. They all had bands. School children. No school. Another band. Again, we're looking across to what would have been Frisch's later on. These are the Elks. These are the Elks, I'm sorry, that was the Moose. Look how the Elks are dressed with the American flag pinned to their shoulder. I think that's a smart look. The camera will pan on down Meridian Street and you get a shot of what Meridian Street looked like in 1918. This is the Anderson Fire Department, the entire fire department with their fire axes. More organizations. Remember, they just marched and marched and marched until they got tired, fell out of line, and somebody else took their place. 18 hours non-stop. Floats. Kids now begin to see they're on the camera. They're waving at the cameraman. Kids are kids, aren't they? And now they've stopped in front of the camera waving their flags. Look at how that car is decorated. Again, this is all impromptu, no planning. People just threw these things together and here they came. There's Uncle Sam. There's more. There'll be another Uncle Sam here shortly. Look at the balloons. We made tractors in Anderson, two sizes. That's the smaller one. This is the larger one, Indiana Tractor Company. More decorated vehicles. 100% American. Certain amount of pride in being able to say that, isn't there? There's Uncle Sam. Remember inner tubes? That's Quality Tires. Horse patrols. We don't know who these people are. They're just celebrating. 1927, scenes around Anderson. Courtesy of the Starland Theater. Remy Electric Company, Anderson's largest manufacturing plant, employing about 4,000 people, a few of which you see leaving the factory. This would be the Columbus Avenue entrance, and it would be, I'm thinking it's a change of shift because you're seeing people coming out and people going in. And you see cars passing on Columbus Avenue. And it would appear it's salary and hourly people both. In my opinion, the cameraman spent too much time here, but he will move his camera and you'll see some other scenes. This would be Remy Electric, would be Delco Remy, 1927. Hat fell out of the window, guy picked it up and put it on his head. See that? I'm sure there's a story there. I don't know what it is. It would appear that everybody came and went through the same gate in those days. But you got to consider the plant was not nearly as large as it eventually became. That's Columbus Avenue. You see the brick pavers. This is the top of the Washington School, the old one that was built in 1896. Now we're back to the gate. They don't stay there too long, and then you'll get some other scenes of Columbus Avenue. Now the film's speeding up a little bit. I'm sure those people are in a hurry to get home, but not that fast. Likewise, those people hurrying to get to work. And now you can see some of the traffic on Columbus Avenue. It looks like a demolition derby waiting to happen to me. Anderson High School students, Anderson High School school. This would be the Lincoln Street entrance. Kids are kids. They're pouring out of school that day and they see the camera. Notice the hats. Notice the hats. Central building across the street. Basketball team in practice, Big Five of Anderson, always up and at 'em, always looked upon with envy by other teams. I'm not sure anybody'd envy this group. Where do you see them? They're practicing. The cameraman has his back to the original wigwam. And that's a cinder track that you see them playing on. Central Junior High School is in the background, the original Anderson High School building. And it's a drill that they're doing. And for those of you who remember the name, that's Carl Bunge. If you remember Carl Bunge, know the name, he was a famous track coach for Anderson High School, track and cross country. He had just graduated from Anderson a few years before and was helping out. A close-up of Coach Staggs. This is Alonzo Staggs, one of the more famous Anderson coaches. YMCA and YWCA. Did you know the YMCA has closed in Anderson at that building? There's the YWCA. That was the home of Charles Henry. Lincoln Parents Teachers Association, showing routine of health, originated in our city of Anderson. Examination, weighing and measuring of children. This would be at the Lincoln School, where the children are lined up. They're going to get their height and weight recorded. Isn't that amazing writing? Now, I want you to pay attention to the tongue depressor. What's she do with it? She just puts it in the next child's mouth. 350 children underweight drinking their morning drink. Now, I don't see where they look underweight. These are children coming out of the Main Street School, which was the building that used to occupy the site that's now Anderson Public Library. Before that, Sears and Roebuck building. And these are children from 1st grade through 8th grade. As they march, the classes grow up, and the 8th graders will come at the end, and of course they're much larger. Any former school teachers in the group this evening? Did your students exit the building like this every day? All neatly dressed, wouldn't you agree? Now they're starting to get a little bigger as the grades go up. Again, Main Street was grades 1 through 8. (1927). When I left school, I sure didn't go out looking like this. Anderson Daily Bulletin staff, they're standing outside the building on the northeast corner of 10th and Main, still there today. That used to be the home of the Anderson Daily Bulletin, and that's the bulletin staff. St. Mary's School on a rainy day. This would be the entrance that's on 11th Street, been remodeled, looks different than that today. But again, students exiting the St. Mary's School after the day is done. I've talked to several St. Mary's students who told me that they remember they would leave the building through this exit, go east or west on 11th Street to Central Avenue, turn north on Central Avenue, and stop at the East Side Jersey Dairy for a malted milk or a milkshake. Rainy day on the corner of 11th and Meridian. Notice Officer Bruner in his usual hustle. This is Meridian. This is 11th Street. Historical Society sits right here. It's a rainy day. Officer Bruner will be coming across the street here shortly. There he is. And he's standing then in front of the windows of the Citizens Bank, which was ours. Look at the car coming around. They do that today. That hasn't changed. When we come out of that building, we've got to watch our step. And shortly, a big streetcar, here it is, pulls in there by the Citizens Bank building, the Historical Society today, and the passengers get off. Panning north on Meridian Street, you see a streetcar. And the Citizens Bank, the Historical Society.
The Anderson Herald, Anderson's progressive newspaper that reaches your home the first thing in the morning. Mrs. Harriet W. Toner is the publisher of the Anderson Herald, and Mr. J.A. Keith is the general manager. Under their supervision, hundreds of mechanics, artists, writers, and reporters are required to help make up this modern newspaper. It is in this editorial department that our little story begins. Elmer Van Meter, a promising young cub reporter on the staff of the Anderson Herald, is about to begin writing a news story when his editor calls him. He is requested to write a special story concerning everyday happenings of civic and industrial interest in Anderson. Now, this happens every day, not only at 22nd and Pendleton Avenue, but at every stop crossing by not obeying the stoplights. One person was killed and many injured at 9th Street and Arrow Avenue last year, caused by disregarding the traffic lights. Obey the stoplights and safeguard yours and your neighbors' lives. Like bees from a hive, the Anderson High School disgorges 2,100 students daily. It was built 25 years ago to hold a capacity of 1,000 school children. What about these other 1,000 children? No awkward age for these children who are receiving the proper dance instruction from Miss Helen Berkebile. An early start places children above the crowd. At the Berkebile studio, they have the advantage of taking all types of dancing, including ballet, toe, character, acrobatic, adagio, tap, and ballroom. Dorothy Henderson, our reporter's girlfriend, is one of these accomplished dancers. Thousands of businessmen, many of them members of the various clubs of the city, are the leaders of Anderson business and vocation. Many of these men are well known in Anderson and should be easily recognized. Interdone Mattress Company was founded in 1905 by William H. Steeves, who came to Anderson from Cincinnati, Ohio. Arthur O. Steeves, a son, has been the active manager for the past 8 years and has become president of the firm since the death of William H. Steeves. The Anderson Mattress Company manufactures all kinds of mattresses and studio couches. They sell throughout Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, and Ohio, and are equipped with all the latest improved mattress machinery. Many Anderson people never realize that such interesting factories that manufacture nationally known products are located right here in their midst. The Anderson Mattress Company, like many other concerns shown in our Cub Reporter story, are the types of business that contribute to the financial and population growth of this city. And Son Coal Company, where thousands of Anderson homes phone for quality coal and coke. Pickering's no-dust treatment absolutely eliminates all dust and dirt with coal, thus keeping your cellar and house cleaner than it was ever thought possible. There is no extra charge for this great improvement. The T.M. Norton Brewing Company at Central Avenue and 7th Street not only supplies Anderson with their good beer, but send thousands of barrels and cases of beer to various parts throughout this and other countries. The beer is manufactured under the most scientific and sanitary conditions. Many thousands of dollars in taxes are paid to our government each year by the T.M. Norton Brewing Company, which helps substantially in bringing prosperity back again. Most people refer to beer as just a stimulant, but it is commonly known that it is really a healthful food drink for young and old. The Indiana Dairy Company, formerly Indiana Ice and Dairy Company, was established in 1900. Their bottles are never touched by human hands from the time they are placed into the washer dirty until they are filled, capped, and ready for delivery. The Wild Rose brand of dairy products, including milk, cream, whipping cream, cottage cheese, buttermilk, and butter can be obtained at all first-class groceries, or by calling phone 150. You can have these products for delivery to your home daily. Typewriter Company, operated by Miller J. Huggins, is located at 31 East 11th Street, the busiest corner in Anderson. A most complete line of all standard makes of typewriters, adding machines, cash registers, and check writers is carried in stock. The service department is one of the most modern and completely equipped in this section of the country. The Guarantee Tire and Rubber Company is one of Indiana's largest and oldest auto accessory stores. They have 15 stores located in different cities in the state of Indiana. They carry a complete line of auto accessories, auto parts, sporting goods, radios, and refrigerators. All Philco radios sold by the Guaranteed Tire and Rubber Company are delivered and properly installed by well-trained and dependable servicemen. The Glencoe Service Station, 14th and Jackson Streets, is owned and operated by R.N. Eastman of this city. Realizing, without your confidence we could not succeed, we protect that confidence by giving only the best merchandise money can buy at a price you can pay. Try the Glencoe 5-point service. Singer's Bakery, located in Muncie, Indiana, is equipped with the most modern and sanitary bakery equipment in the country. The most automatic of machines, with the aid of experienced bakers, make thousands of loaves daily of the most delicious, healthful bread. That is why Singer's bread is sold throughout a large part of Indiana, delivered by a fleet of trucks, fresh daily. If you haven't already, just try the best bread you have ever tasted. Elmer finishes up his industrial story, and soon afterwards the various departments that help make up a newspaper are brought into action. A busy scene indeed, everyone busy every minute, as a strict schedule is adhered to so that the Anderson Herald is ready for delivery on time the first thing in the morning. The Anderson Herald compares in size to daily newspapers in the largest cities in the country. The editor informs our cub reporter that he has earned a raise. And it don't take Elmer long to tell Dorothy that now they can be married. Dorothy agrees with a gesture most natural. After the honeymoon, the newlyweds visit the Meadowbrook subdivision office located at 38th and Main Streets in Anderson, Indiana. This edition was originated and planned by a group of Anderson businessmen concerned with providing better homes to take care of the rapid growth of the city. Mr. Lawrence V. Sheridan, noted for his remarkable work as a city planning and landscape engineer, convinces the newlyweds Meadowbrook is the place to build their home. Soon after, Dorothy realizes their home should have the best furnishings and equipment, so at the Central Indiana Gas Company selects a beautiful Electrolux, the silent gas refrigerator with its many features. Also the modern tubular designed Magic Chef gas range in a color to match the kitchen. With these two valuable pieces of equipment delivered, Dorothy knows her chances of becoming a good cook are assured. Then some shopping at the John Kelly Furniture Company, because they felt, as it was an old established firm, it offered the largest selection in Anderson. They are convinced the John Kelly Furniture Company is rightfully called Anderson's leading furniture store with the most modern furniture and have everything they need for their home. And is Elmer glad he can furnish his home on credit? Mr. W.C. McLean at the McLean Motor Company, located at 924 Central Avenue, shows our friends the new 1936 Dodge in their spacious showroom. After a drive in this beautiful, well-constructed, and economical automobile, Out to Mr. McLean's home, they decide right then and there that this is the one automobile they want to own. And we don't blame them. Dorothy knows that it pays to look well, and a very good way to hold her man's interest. The Beauty Box Parlor at 29 West 12th Street knows just how to make her look her best. In the meantime, Elmer seems to realize the same idea. He figures, since he doesn't buy clothes so often, he'll buy at the B.L. Bing Sons clothing store for men and boys, where he believes in the economy of quality. Bing's claim, the more limited the clothes budget, the more they will need Bing quality clothes. Bing's better clothes make good, or they will. And so, like our newlyweds, many families in Anderson live in Anderson because of its many advantages. An ideal city with mighty fine people.
What'd you think? What's the comment? I was amused at what all they purchased with the raise that he received. A house, a car, furniture, clothing, and so forth.